and welcome to Class 10 of the Take Action section of the Forge It web series workshop. Today we're going to be talking about the part of the team that I call the talent. Many of you will only have heard that phrase, the talent, used to explain the actors. I use it to explain the writer, the director, and the actors, both the principal and supporting actors. The reason I do that is, to me, these are the people most responsible for the creative elements of a web series or film. Now, I could very well put a cinematographer on this list because I do believe that a quality artistic cinematographer does add enormously to the creative elements of a project. However, with a low or no budget web series or film production, often you can't afford a cinematographer. You'll be working with a camera operator, someone who's more point and shoot. So that's why we dealt with cinematographer yesterday, and today we're going to be focused just on writer, director, and actors. Let's jump right in. Now you might think, I know what a writer does, Jennifer. They write the script. Yes, in a perfect world, in a studio world, perhaps that would be the case. You would write the script, and that's all you would need to do. Well, maybe a studio executive would give you some feedback. Maybe the director would give you some notes, and you would revise the script. But then pretty much you would walk away. Even big-name screenwriters often don't have a lot of say into the production itself. However, with independent filmmaking, the writer is often way more involved. And at Blue Forge Productions, the writer is essential. Not only do they create the script, but they create the shooting script. Not only do they create the shooting script and the script, but they also create a lot of the press materials. The writer works with the producer to create things such as the proposal, the summary, the press releases. These are things that go to newspapers or local businesses or other organizations to help raise funds to produce the project. Why is the writer involved? Because it's the writer who should best be able to sum up what the project is, to get to the heart of that project. And if the writer can't do that, the writer needs to spend more time with the project and slow down. Why should this project be made more than any other project? The writer needs to be able to answer that. The writer needs to know this like his or her own beating heart. It's part of them, it's natural to them, and it's essential. So at Blue Forge Productions, the writer does the script. That's obvious. The shooting script, that means that pass at the script that talks about the angles and maybe transition effects, sound effects. The writer goes back through and makes all those kinds of notations. The director can also do that, but again, often the writer and director might very well be the same person. The writer also helps create the press materials, as I was just saying, and they also help do things like write the tagline, create posters, things like this. I don't mean they create the artwork for the posters. You might very well have another person on this list, a staff artist, which is perfectly acceptable, but the writer would help create the taglines and the other verbiage that's on posters and other materials. The director. Now, if you had been on the set of Epic Heroes Season 1, you might think, well, the director is the person with the camera, right? No. There wasn't a lot of direction that actually got to happen for Epic Heroes Season 1. Because I was wearing so many hats piled high as the writer, the director, the cinematographer, the producer, the executive producer, it got a little crazy. But in other projects that we've done since, people see, and also going into Epic Heroes Season 2, people see what a director does. A director directs the actors. You could say, well, yeah, duh, Jennifer, of course a director directs. Yes, but what does that mean? It means you try to guide your actors to give you the best performance. What is the best performance? It should sound real, smooth, sincere. It should sound like the character, not the actor. You are directing the actor to be a character. Now, words on a page, especially a script, they very infrequently say things such as confidently, angrily, and even so, when they do, what does that mean, confidently? How do we say something confidently? Does one character say something confidently the same way that another character does? Well, it shouldn't, because why have multiple characters if they're all going to talk the same? As the writer, you help create those characters. Perhaps you even create character profiles that you and the director work on together. And then the director's job is to guide the actors through, helping those actors be those characters to the best of their possible ability. It's not just about saying action and cut. It's about praising your actors. That was great. That was perfect. It's about keeping their spirits high. It's about encouraging them to do maybe a tricky stunt or a tricky angle. It's about making them feel comfortable when they have to stand so abnormally close to each other to fit into a frame of a complicated shot. A director makes the actors feel at ease, so they have the freedom, the actors have the freedom to bring the character up and out of themselves. If you want to hire actors to simply act like themselves, that's perfectly fine. You can do that. But if you want to make incredible stories, then get people who can actually act, who can transform themselves into someone so different from themselves, who can cry on cue, who can get angry on cue believably, that you actually think, my gosh, there's incredible tension between these characters. You know, one of the things that my kids and I watch is a project called The Glee Project. It's a show on Oxygen. Now, I'm sure everyone has heard of the show Glee, but this is and isn't about Glee. It's, well, you might say a reality competition, but it's not shot in the kind of smutty reality TV way that I have heard about so often. This is a long audition process. I believe it's 12 episodes, a 12-week audition process, where from a national call of literally thousands upon thousands of young actors, ranging from mid-teens to mid-20s, that they're all auditioning for a role on the show Glee. The deal with the show Glee is that not only do these people get an acting role on a incredibly successful show, but they also get a recording contract to go along with it. So it launches two careers in one. A lot of actors want this. Also, Glee's focus is on taking kids that are different, that are outsiders, and showing them band together and beat the impossible odds in the format of a high school Glee club, a choir club. This audition process is incredible because it shows the actual crew, the casting director, Ryan Murphy, one of the writers and creators, auditioning these kids, having them create mini scenes, showing their acting skills, showing their believability skills, showing their adaptability skills on camera. One of the things that happened in the first season of this show was one of the characters said, well, I can't, one of the young people auditioning said, I can't kiss this other actor in this scene because I have a girlfriend back home. And the rest of the kids looked at this person and was like, what? What are you talking about? You're an actor. We do that. It's not real. It's not supposed to feel real. You're not supposed to make it real. You're supposed to act. Actors can create characters who are not themselves. It's not just about diving into yourself and finding that part of yourself that is the mean girl. No, it's about knowing what a mean girl character is and being able to inhabit that character for a short period of time. And when the director says cut, you turn it off. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard of this idea of method acting, where the actor kind of more stays in character for longer. They kind of live as the character. I personally, as a director, don't hire actors who are going to put me through that because I have characters that aren't always pleasant, and I don't particularly want to be around people who are going to act not very pleasant all day. But an actor needs to be able to transport themselves, to transform themselves into a different character. So again, I know I've kind of jumped to actors, but really that's what a director does. You have to know what an actor is supposed to do to know how to direct them. Now, should you be giving your actors their lines? Yes, in independent film you can certainly do that, or your set manager can call lines if they need them. The director is there for morale and to encourage the best performance. The director must have very clearly in his or her mind what emotion, what feeling, what thematic quality they want in every single shot. And they have to understand that every character is important. The extra in the background who's just eating their meal at a cafe scene, the principal in the foreground having a passionate conversation with his or her parent. The director has to have a firm grasp at all times of what's going on. They need to know where in the script they are. They need to be able to give the actor's backstory and clear and concise notes. What I mean by clear and concise notes are they need to be able to articulate to the actor what they're looking for. Because if not, all you're going to wind up with is frustrated actors. Let's move on a little bit more to those folks, our actors. Actors, often called the talent. There are three basic ways that you're going to utilize actors, even though I've only written two here. Those three basic types are as principals, as supporting actors, and as extras. Now let's deal with extras first. I don't usually use this word because oftentimes you hear actors, especially actors who have been in the business for a while, say, well, I don't want to take a role as an extra. I don't want to do that. I want either a main supporting role or a principal role. I don't want to just be someone walking on the street or buying a hot dog or maybe have a line but probably not have any dialogue. I don't want to be that anymore. But you know what? It's the extras that often make a production seem real and believable. They're not just props. They're the reality that creates the illusion that your fictional world is a real world. Now, you can't just go to a carnival and shoot your actors and use the crowd as your extras. If someone's face is shown, you need to have a release form. You need to have their permission. And even showing people's backs is kind of iffy. You really shouldn't film people without their explicit permission. The reason I didn't put extras on this list is that I don't personally use it. To me, I use two types of actors. I use actors for principal roles and I use actors for supporting roles, and that's what I do. Because for me, extras do support the entire production, and without them, I can't create the atmosphere that I need, and that's vital to good story well told. Now, a principal actor, really it's a principal role. There are no principal actors or supporting actors. Actors can be anything that they have the skills and the desire to be. A principal role is a main role. It's a main character, like in a story. You don't have to have just one or just one male and just one female. There can be several principal actors. The story will primarily focus on these principal actors. Supporting roles. With supporting roles, these back up the principal actors. They often add depth, humor, excitement. They're major roles in that they will always have speaking lines. They might even have scenes all by themselves without a principal actor in the scene. But mostly they'll be seen in scenes with principal actors. These supporting roles should be interesting. Again, never create roles for actors that you in your mind see as just filler. Because you know what? They'll know. They'll be able to feel that, and they'll know that their character isn't as important as others, and they may not give it their all. You might have heard the phrase, that actor just stole the scene. Well, those actors that steal those scenes, they're often considered supporting roles, supporting actors. So remember, they're going to make or break your production by giving it that extra touch, that extra element that every good story needs. A general rule of thumb when working with cast and crew is that if you have them working for 4 hours or more, you need to provide food. If you have them working for any amount of time whatsoever, you need to provide clean facilities. A bathroom. Also, if you're shooting in the sun, you need to provide shade. If you're shooting in the rain, you need to provide shelter. You just need to use common sense and common respect. There are two types of actors that you are going to run into, union and non-union. Union actors simply mean that they belong to SAG-AFTRA. This is a union for actors that helps make sure that they get paid and helps them find health insurance and all these other protections that unions provide. However, As a low or no budget film, if you want to work with union actors, you will need to contact the union and negotiate a contract specifically with them. They'll ask you basic details about your project and also about what the overall budget is, and they will determine what you can pay your people legally from there. It doesn't mean that union actors are more qualified or more talented than non-union actors. That's simply not the case. Actors choose whether to be union or non-union, and I personally, after auditioning more than 100 actors for an adult film called Jericho House, found that there is no difference in the quality between union and non-union actors. Now, I may make a lot of enemies by saying that, but it's simply the truth. Your choice is going to be your choice. There's nothing wrong with contacting the union and telling them about your project, registering your project with the union, and seeing what they say. They may very well be willing to help you cast your project and find resources and things like that. Also, union actors may very well have the experience that you want. Or maybe you want to cast your project first. And then if it turns out that the majority of your cast or even one of your cast are union actors, go to the union then. It's up to you. But either way, you want actors who are passionate about their characters, who see their characters as living people that they want to express and show to the world. You want actors as excited about your project as you are. That might be hard to find, but you know what? I bet you can do it. And this ends Class 10 in our Take Action, Section 3 of the Forge It web series workshop.